Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Journey Becoming a Head Coach. As always, I'm your host, Jeff Freeman. Today, we're going to go over fundraising ideas. We officially went into off-season mode, like I talked about last week, just because with everything going on and just looking at the timetables and everything else between conversations and me and admin and everything else, just trying to figure out what was best moving forward. We decided to move into off-season mode. So, just looking at some things to again improve our program and whatnot. I wanted to go over some fundraising ideas because fundraising is always a huge deal. Trying to figure out, what kind of things, what kind of ideas you can do to make money, to help buy the best equipment for your student athletes, to provide the best environment, a safe environment, a fun environment, and then always trying to get little tidbits and little things like that to make things fun for them. Because again, trying to get them the cool little decals, helmet stickers, socks, all that stuff. The student athletes, they love those things, no matter what sport, no matter what kind of student athlete, they always love to get free things. And if you can fundraise where you make as much profit as you possibly can, so that way not only get the things that they enjoy, the things that they need to be safe, the things that you need to be safe, and make the overall experience better. I mean, again, you can't really go wrong. So these are some things that I've collected over the years. I started collecting, fundraising ideas. Oh man, back in 2009, 2010, started collecting fundraising ideas. Because again, I always knew I wanted to be a head coach. Ever since I started getting into coaching, for those of you again that have kind of seen this story unfold, you kind of know that I've known I wanted to be a head coach for a long time. So I started collecting fundraising ideas. Have I used all these yet? No. Do I plan on using all of them at least once? Yeah, it's just a matter about time and place and really knowing what your community is. That's gonna be the biggest thing that I can say. And I'll kind of get to that point as we move forward. But again, knowing your community, knowing what they're interested in, that's going to make the most money, and that's what's going to get the most support, is knowing what they want to see, knowing what they want to do. So then that way, again, you can kind of create and earn the most money for your program. Golf tournaments. I did a golf tournament. I helped run a golf tournament for 4 or 5 years at the previous school I was at. Also helped, build a booster club, which again was it was an interesting thing to build from the bottom up. But we built a booster club at the school I was at. Now, granted, it was a TK through 8th grade, so it was more of a middle school where I was the athletic director and things like that. And I had helped parents, pitch it and promote it. And they're the ones who kind of did most of the legwork, but I was behind the scenes helping out, kind of learning from them in the event I ever wanted to run one of my own. So each year it got bigger and better. They rent out an entire course for the day. They have activities and beverages at every hole, and that's kind of one of those things where you don't really want, depending on what kind of tournament you want to run. If you want students there, obviously you can't necessarily have drinks on the course. If you're not going to have students there, which we never did, as far as on the course serving or running any of these activities or games, the cornhole games, the marshmallow hole where you had to hit a marshmallow off the tee. I mean, things like that we did, where you had to buy raffle tickets and earn raffle tickets and these other little side games. We didn't have any students run those. It was all parent volunteer ran. So it was a very fun course to say the very least. And it got a lot of people's interest. We got people from inside the school, outside the school. We got businesses. We always have Mercedes-Benz sponsor the hole in one or closest to the pin. So that was always fun. And at the end, we did this differently every year. At the end, there was an auction of donated items. We did silent, we did live. First year, we had a live guy, do the whole shebang, going once, going twice, all that stuff. And then from there on in, we kind of did silent auctions. And as far as the atmosphere, the live auction was a lot more fun, but as far as being able to mingle and network and everything else, as far as what I'm concerned, the silent auction was better because I was able to go around, talk to table a little bit more, and talk with people that A, I didn't know, and B, I've never seen before. So I got to see why they were there, how'd they hear about it, all that stuff. So again, piecing information together to make the next one better. It was also great for alumni as participants. We had to have them 18 years or older. Now, of course, if you had alcohol there, we had to have people IDing and things like that. But at the same time, we always try to invite the alumni to it. So it's a great way to keep community involved. And again, it's all dependent on your community. Things are big, big, big. As far as do you even have a golf course nearby? This school is located in Folsom, so Empire Ranch Golf Course is right there. They're always really good to us. And we were able to run some fabulous events through them with that golf tournament. It worked out really well. And the parents that put that on every year did a fantastic job. I've yet to reach out to see if they're doing one this year. I mean, I know they were going to do one last year, but obviously with COVID and everything else. And then I think there was a year prior where they got hit with a rainstorm, so I don't know if they were able to host it at that point either. So they might have missed out on the last two, but I know I was there for the first 4/5. So and they were glorious. I mean, we made tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, the first one we made, I think it was like $16,000, $17,000 on the first one. So again, and we use those things to buy warm-up suits, equipment, um, all kinds of different things. Now, granted, obviously, when you're at the middle school level, there's not as much that you need to buy necessarily, but we bought so much equipment with that stuff. It was unfathomable. We bought training, like we sent our teams to get personal training from Danielle Viglione of the 24-hour fitness out there, former WNBA star. She was awesome. She was really good with the kids, and we always communicate with her. So we sent teams out there and paid for it through the Booster Club. That way, it worked out really well. That was what part of this paid for. They paid for that, paid for some new equipment and cages and stuff like that. It was really good to hold on to the basketballs where you get some new cages and some new racks. Worked out really well. Some of you might be saying, well, that should be school orientated. Again, I always hear that argument when it comes to money is, well, the school should pay for this and you should fundraise for that. I've always kind of been the just, what can the school afford? The school can't afford it. Fine, let's see if the Booster Club will pay for it. So we kind of budgeted and said, okay, this is what the school is going to try and pay for. This is what the Booster Club is going to try and pay for. This whole thing of, well, the school should pay for this or should pay for that. How about just have the school pay for what it can pay for, and then get everyone, and then get the Booster Club to help out with everything else. Like that's always kind of what I looked at is try to work in tandem. Hey, we can afford this, you help out with that. So golf tournament did really well. Poker tournament, I never got a chance to run personally yet. I really want to try to do one. We ran them over at Casa. The head coach over there, who's the head coach now, he put these together, ran it at the local community center, and they were a blast. I went to two of them, and it was Texas Hold'em, the whole 9 yards. They had a silent auction, invited the whole community out there. There were sponsorships. There were silent auctions attached to it, so you got to go around and bid on little items. It was a fun time. Of course, you got like 2 free drink tickets and stuff like that. But no, it was a blast, and they make a good amount of money off that poker tournament. I don't know if they're still doing it. Obviously, again, with last year with COVID, everyone might be kind of adjusting how they fundraise. I mean, I don't know if people are going to be doing live events as much anymore. I know we're kind of looking at what exactly we can do, whether it's online or in person, or if we're having kids going door to door and selling more. I honestly don't know. It'll be interesting to see what kind of things come back in that regard. I don't really know what kind of things are going to come back, especially in person, just because you got that, who's going to be worried about COVID and who's going to do this and who's going to do that. So, but in any case, poker tournament, again, another fun one. Again, I was a part of it. I saw it. I talked to him a few times about how he ran it. I'm really looking forward to trying to run one eventually. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be something new, something different, especially in the community I'm at. They've never had something like that before. They've done golf tournaments out here, but I know, at least I've never heard of anyone doing a poker tournament. I've done my research and kind of asked, hey, has anyone ever done this? No. So it's just a matter of getting the right amount of parents and the right amount of community involvement, and it can be fun. So again, poker tournament's another one. Discount cards. This one everybody has done and everybody does and everything else. So, I mean, it includes things to national and local restaurants, retailers. It can be used repetitively. Usually it's a year deal. It's usually $15, $20, and the profit's usually right around, depending on which ones you use, could be 50%, 93%. Oftentimes, I mean, more than one school will do it, and that's been kind of my issue with them. Is where I was at previously is like you had 3 schools all within a 10-mile radius, all trying to sell to the same spots. So you kind of had to make sure that you had the better deals. And so it was kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, well, if I'm selling this for $20, but I'm only getting 10, so it was kind of one of those weird things where you want to make sure that you want to try to get as much profit as possible. Now, what we found out too is if you have a print shop, our district here has their own print shop. We were talking about printing our own cards, so in that way we can get up to that 93, almost 95, even as high as 97% profit we sell a $20 card, we're making anywhere between $17, $18, $19 because we're the ones making it. We're not using this other business that's trying to, just give us their cards. And then that was the other thing too. Some of these companies, I noticed they'll give you a card, and some of the stuff that they have on there, people got to drive to go get to it. And I'm kind of like, well, you want to have local businesses, so then that way you're promoting the local business, and that way everyone in your area in that way is making money. You're making money and profit because you're giving cards that people are going to use in your area, and those stores in that area are going to get more traffic because even though it's a discount card, they're getting more people to come in. So that's going to kind of negate the discount in the long run. So it's one of those things where I kind of found those pre-made cards are kind of odd when you go through companies because they don't always get the local businesses. Yeah, they'll get the big ones. They'll get the Mountain Mikes, and they'll get the Jiffy Lubes. They'll get those bigger companies that are everywhere. They might get a Starbucks every now and then. But, I mean, you're not going to get the local barbershop, or you're not going to get the local pizza joint, the little hole-in-the-wall store, or the little restaurant shop. You're not going to get those. At least very rarely will you. At least the time I've seen them at the 3 different schools that I was at prior to here, I haven't seen where they get a lot of the hole in the wall stuff. One did a pretty good job about getting them. They had about 3 or 4 local things, but most of the stuff, it was big companies and stuff like that. They love to use them, and the students sell them annually. I mean, every year when I was in high school, we always did it after our big inter squad scrimmage in the summer, and we would go out in our gear, try to clean up a little bit, but if we go out in our gear, so then that way it's like, hey, we just came from our scrimmage, we're here to sell Bronco cars, let's go. Called the Bronco Blitz or whatever, I think that's what they used to call it. And we would just go after an inter-squad scrimmage back in the day when you could wear gear in the summertime. Now, out here in California, you can only wear gear literally like 15 days before you even have your first game. So, again, this is neither here nor there. But at the same time, again, discount cards, they're great. If you have the ability to make your own cards, so the more profit, the better. If you go through a company, make sure you're at least getting 50%. At least getting 50%. Now with discount cards, also, there's one thing we used here. It's a Popcornopolis. It's actually it's kind of the same idea. It's like you sell one of those cones for $8, you get 50%. So I sell you an $8 cone. My school gets $4. So another similar idea where you're selling a product and you're getting 50%. And Popcornopolis has been pretty good for us. Similar idea, you sell a product, you get 50%. So product sales. Restaurant nights. And these are the ones that I've listed where I know and I've looked up where they've done it. It might be a little bit of an old list because, again, I've tried to update this list every year, so I believe most of these places are still open. I've only seen one Boston Market in my area in the last 10 years, so I don't even know if Boston Market's going to be around much longer. But everyone wants to eat, and most of the time they'll share 10 to 20% of the sale. So if somebody buys $100 meal, you're getting anywhere between 10 to $20 depending on what that restaurant agrees to. So, and that's kind of one of those things, you promote it, and these are just some of the ones that I've seen. I've done these twice. I did one in a local restaurant that I was actually working at the time before I got my credential. It was up in El Dorado Hills, Purple Place Bar and Grill. I talked to the owner about it, and I was working at CAS at the time. So a little bit of a drive from Orangevale to El Dorado Hills. We got a decent amount, but I think the drive was just too much. And I know the owner was polite enough to pad the final a little bit on there. And I had to thank him for that generously because, again, we didn't make very much on it, but that was because such of the drive. So that was something I had learned. It was like, hey, you got to make sure it's close to where you're practicing. Make sure it's somewhere within the vicinity. Make sure it's somewhere that students and families like. So this is a list of ones, again, that I know do it. I've heard do it, and they offer anywhere between that 10 to 20%. Most of these restaurants will offer the 20 that I've heard about that I looked up. But at the same time, you might be only getting that 10 or 15%. So again, restaurant can be a fun night. Again, it's just all about promotion. In this day and age, when you got social media and everything, it should be pretty easy to promote. I mean, again, I've probably on too much social media where I promote all of our stuff way too much, but it is what it is. It's good. It's good for the kids. It's good for, it's good for the families to see, everything. So again, this is just a list. Restaurant nights can be a fun night. I've done them twice. One didn't work out so well. The second one did work out pretty well. And so again, it's hit or miss. And that one was closer to where we were at. It was at an Applebee's. It was closer to where we were working at the time, and we got a pretty good amount of money out of that because it was closer to where our school was. So bigger community, closer to the community, the bigger the profit. So pick a popular restaurant pick one that's close, and make sure you promote the living heck out of it. Candy bars. Now, I haven't seen this one be done very much, very often, but again, the cost is low. Students and families, I've seen people scrounge up change to buy candy bar. I myself, I'm big on candy bars. I do enjoy me, a Snickers. And I got a little picture of a Snickers down there. I do enjoy me a Snickers, and again, usually the same thing as the Popcornopolis, same thing as the discount cards. Usually profits can be up 50%. So you sell a candy bar for $1, you're going to get 50 cents. So again, something that you can do. It's pretty easy to get a hold of, and it's pretty easy to do. Again, in this day and age, though, I don't know what the social outlook's going to look like when you got students going door to door with the whole COVID thing. We'll see how things kind of tailor off, but things should be getting back to normal here relatively soon within this year. Again, depending on what news outlet you look at, but again, cost is low. Students and families love candy bars for the most part, unless of course you got someone that doesn't like chocolate. But usually those candy bar boxes, they'll have something for everybody. They'll have some white chocolate. They'll have one of those weird raspberry nougat things. I don't know. They always got some kind of weird flavor. So it's usually got something for everybody. And there's, even if you go to a family where one person doesn't like chocolate, chances are there's going to be somebody that does, and they'll throw you $1 to get a candy bar. Candy bar is another easy one to do. And I know C's Candy does a big one. We have one. Our cheer team out here uses C's Candy. At least they used to. I don't know if they're still going to, but used to do C's Candy things all the time. And so do our actual class fundraisers, or our students raise money for their class, do like their trips and all that other stuff. So again, candy bars, another easy one. Customize elite socks. This one was big a few years ago when everyone was really into the Nike Elite socks for whatever reason. But they enjoy socks. They are expensive, but I own a pair. I've owned a pair myself, and they do last a long time. And this has been done at elementary and high school. So I mean, you can essentially, you buy some Elite socks and you get them customized and you sell them. So, and the student body loves them. And it's one of those things. You buy a shirt for $10, you sell it for 15 or 20, and that's the fundraiser. So same idea. If you can get a decent discount or some decent Elite style socks. There was a company we went through where they made them look like Nike Elites, and they were actually, to be quite honest, they were more comfy than the Nike Elites. But they made them look the exact same, and they put our logo on the back and they put the logo on the side. So they put the Notre Dame ND on the sides, and then they put Irish down the back instead of those little stripes from the Elite. So they came out looking really nice, and they were actually more comfortable than regular Nike Elites. And we sold those, and those made a decent amount of money, pretty good amount of money. Again, any fundraiser that makes a profit is a good fundraiser. Any fundraiser where you lose out on profit, that's a bad fundraiser. So, every little bit helps, every little bit counts, and things like that. So, again, customize Elite socks. And again, I don't know if the socks are as big thing as they used to be. And like I said, I've collected this list over a decade. So, some of these things you might say, wow, that's pretty out of date. But then again, depending on your county, depending on your community, depending on your city, maybe like, wow, I never thought about that. That might actually work really well here. Because again, it's all community and it's all what your student body wants. Temporary tattoos. This is one I have not done. I brought it up at the previous school I was at, but since it was an elementary private school, it kind of got kiboshed really quick because they're like, no, we're not going to give out temporary tattoos to kids. But I don't know. I was like, what? They're temporary. Come on. Everyone used to get the little shark or the little whatever from the little 25-cent machine at the supermarket. Why not? What the heck? So, you can get a bunch of them, sell them for about $1. They'll you can sell them. They'll be big sellers because you can sell them for about $1. Especially if you get a bunch of them where they're like 25, 50 cents for some of these little tiny ones. I mean, you're making anywhere between 50 to 75% profit. And you can sell them throughout the entire season. I mean, that's one thing I've kind of been looking into is like trying to figure out a way to where we can make like our logos into temporary tattoos and stuff like that. I'm looking into it because that'd be fun to sell at homecoming games and stuff like that. We got our Native American headdress logo. We got the double tomahawk logo. So we also created an arrowhead logo. So kind of doing some different things, trying to create some different logos and stuff like that. You can sell different types. You always can sell a helmet logo. We also have a block M that we use. So it's one of those things where you can create different styles and things like that and sell them for pretty cheap. So I've been looking into this one. Again, I haven't done it yet. The last time I talked about it got really kiboshed, and that was about 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, no, it was about 5 years ago, to be quite honest. It was 2016, pretty much the year before I came over here. But in any case, I thought I enjoyed it. I thought it'd be fun. I always saw kids, you know, that would go get them. I used to get them too and throw them on. They were fun. You know, you get the little, like I said, the little shark or the little leprechaun, the little Irish clover, whatever, especially for St. Patty's Day, so people wouldn't pinch it and stuff like that. But yeah, something to sell during homecoming, something fun. You can even make little footballs, and you could do it for any sport. I mean, especially if you find a way where you can make personalized ones and customized ones. And again, I'm looking into that. I found a couple companies that I'm looking into, depending on how much the cost is. But again, you just try to find some spots where you can do that. And you could have every sport doing that at their home games. You could be selling basketballs, soccer balls, baseballs, mitts, whatever, your logo. I mean, just little fun things like that. And they're temporary, so they're going to eventually wash off and go off. So, you know, it's one of those things. So, again, temporary tattoos could be a fun one. I personally think it'd be a fun one. Trash bags. This is one, again, I have not done, but in all my research, it looks like it could be a fun one. Because here's the thing. Everybody needs trash bags. So, I mean, that's kind of boils down to it. Everyone's got trash. It's a great selling point because the point price is really low. And these are two companies that I found that do it. When I looked online, looks like they're still in business. It looks like it. Their website still looks up to date. So again, one I haven't done yet, but one, you know, I'm looking into to kind of, you know, throw out there here and there. So again, you sell trash bags, you make, you know, anywhere between, you know, 25 to 75% profit, depending on what these companies will do for you. And again, everybody needs trash bags. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you could throw this together in a relatively fast pace and get it together and get it rolling. So, this is one I haven't seen done yet. I haven't seen it anywhere. But again, like I said, I've been doing this research for a while, trying to find little things to do. And this is another one that I'm thinking about, you know, bringing around just because it's different. And I haven't seen it, at least in anywhere where I've been, you know, in the last 13 years. You know, I have not seen it. So something fun to look into. So trash bags, again, bags for bucks and resource fundraiser. Again, it looked like as of yesterday, while I was redoing this slide and redoing this and putting this together, it looks like these two companies are still in business. So so we'll see. So yeah, again, another fun one to do and another fun one to look into. So car wash. People have done this one before. Car washes can be done. You can do it by students, or you can get a local car wash to do it. That'll donate 20 to 50% of the profits. Same thing like your restaurants. Obviously, if you do it students, then you get a lot more profit because you can just sell the little ticket, and then you got students doing it. So it's, you know, free labor. So again, car washes, I've seen them done. I've seen them done really well. I've seen them done really poorly. So everyone, I think, has done a car wash. Our junior program's done car washes for years. So that's one of those things where, again, you can do a car wash ticket. So another fun little avenue to do. This one I have not done yet. Again, this is another one I kind of looked into, and I put this together. And after I kind of put it together, I kind of looked at it. I mean, you know, you can look at it for what it is, but in case rent an athlete or rent a student. In this case, this is how I've heard it basically promoted. I have not done it yet. I have not even presented it yet. But it's something that could be done. I mean, it's 100% profit. You figure out a way to either at some kind of an auction or something like that, or, you know, whatever that can be done. You offer to rent a student to a family to, you know, do whatever, mow lawn, yard work, walk the dogs, clean out their garage, or anything that may help be done. You kind of typically, from what I've seen, is it's done in increments of 30 minutes. So you might want to be, okay, you want to rent this student athlete, it's $10 every half hour, and then you start there and you go from there. So again, you know, depending on, you know, this might get kiboshed and, oh, you're selling students or whatever. If someone kind of looks at it to be that kind of, you know, if they want to label it that PC, but if this is just a fundraiser, again, it's not, you know, I don't know. As I was looking at it, it was one of those things where I feel like people could get a little antsy or a little upset about it. But again, it's not in any way, shape, or form promoting any kind of, you know, wrongdoing. It's like, you know, it's just a fundraiser, something fun where you can rent a student athlete. You can rent their services to, again, help you around your house and whatnot. And again, it's 100% profit. It goes to help schools. But again, in this day and age, as I was typing this and as I was looking at it and as I reread it, I'm like, oh man, someone might get mad about it. But again, it's all to help students. It's not degrading in any way, shape, or form. But again, it's one of those things where I got to cover and say, hey, no, this is not. If you're reading it the wrong way, then that's on you. But this is strictly for 100% profit. And I have heard it done in other states. I haven't seen it done here. And again, I haven't seen this one done in the 13 years I've been here. But this is just stuff that I've collected, like I've said, over a decade to where it's like something that could be good depending on the community that you're in. Depending on what community you're in, this might not be a good thing to do. Depending on other community, this might be a great thing to do. So again, it's one of those things where you got to look at it and really take a look at your community and what kind of community you have. Is this something that people would be interested in? Would they want to, rent a student athlete or a student or an athlete or whatever that might be to, help them around the house? Could be something nice, could be something fun. So again, something else to look into, could be fun. Duct tape your coach or principal to the wall. This one's another one I found that, again, could be really easy to make money off of. The out-of-pocket expense of the duct tape, and duct tape's really cheap. You sell a yard of it for $1, and I mean, heck, you sell 3 of them, you've already made up the price for the most part. And if you get enough tape to hold the coach or principal up, then you pick a time. You pick a rally, you pick something, you pick the day before a game or whatever it is, and then and you can do it for any sport. You can do it for football, basketball, wrestling, whatever that may be. And you put them on a chair and you duct tape them to the wall. Something fun. Again, you got to find the right community. You got to find, obviously, a principal or coach that's willing to do that. I thought about doing it, but at the same time, it was one of those things that I was like, we really don't have enough rallies here, and at least not yet. It was just one of those things where I'm looking into it. I'd pass this on to our activities director. Maybe they'll want to try and do something like this, where instead of a coach or a principal, it's maybe just a teacher, or maybe it's them. Again, either way, it's one of those things you can do something fun. And again, it's super cheap, and super easy. One thing I noticed as I'm going through this, one thing I did forget, because this technically is my last slide. One thing I forgot to cover is the latest trend that's going on, and it's been going on for a while, probably for at least 6-7 years. The online fundraisers. So like the Snap, the Verticals, the ones run by the California Interscholastic Federation, the CIF. Those are the big 3 that I know of. I've been using Snap. We've used Snap at CASA when I was there. We've been using Snap the last 2 years I've been here as the head coach, and it's a great fundraiser. You make anywhere between right around 80% profit. And the nice thing about it is, all you do is you tell your athletes to collect 20 emails. That's it. That's all you do is you collect 20 emails minimum. You load that thing up and you let it go. The only thing they got to do is maybe send some 10 text messages the day before, and then the nice thing is Snap just does the rest of the work for you. Boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, after 20 days, I mean, our goal was to make $10,000. We came up a little short on that. Again, COVID's crazy. The fact our goal was originally $30,000 in fundraising, we made 20. So I mean, we came up 10 grand short, and we would have made that up in a snack bar. But obviously, no games, no snack bar. So it is what it is on that front. So, but again, the online fundraisers, I can't speak to Vertical or the other. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the other one. I'll add them in the comment down below. I'll kind of add them down there at the bottom of this video, where the ones that I forgot about. But at the same time, it's one of those things, like the online ones are great. They're ones where, again, you do very little work as a coach. You put it in, you're ready to go. There is another one that's out there. There's another one where they're saying that you can keep 97% of your profit, but they don't do nearly the amount of work that the other 3 companies do. Like, you got to set it up on your own. You got to create the videos. You pretty much have to do everything. You have to upload all the emails all on your own. So that's how they're kind of able to do that. If anything goes wrong, you got to call, and you got to do a lot more work with that one company. But as far as these other 3, the stories I've heard is they're pretty much they're all kind of competing with the same avenues. Like, you're going to make roughly around 80% of what you raise, and you come up with the emails, you send them out, and they're going to, and they're going to just, promote, and you're just going to keep collecting, and you can still coach. You can go, you don't have to worry about it. And then, in 4 to 6 weeks, boom, you're collecting the check. So it's a fantastic, those are fantastic fundraisers that you can throw in there. And then obviously other ones, I mean, everyone, knows about the fundraisers you can do on Facebook, the GoFundMe's, you can do all that. I actually threw one together just because we were 10 grand short, and we're trying to pay off our debt to our equipment company, because again, they told us that we could buy all this equipment and get things rolling, and we'd be fine as long as we continue to make payments. And now all of a sudden, hey, we want our money, kind of thing, which I get, totally understand. But just one of those things where it's like, well, you say as long as we make payments were cool, but now it's like, well, wait, where's our money kind of thing. So I, kind of back and forth on that. Our rep's been great. It's corporate that's kind of coming at us a little bit. So went ahead and threw together a Facebook fundraiser. I'm actually going to shut it down here about 4 or 5 days. But again, another easy way just to raise some quick cash. And you hit up your friend fan base. You make it public. You can hit up a whole bunch of different people. You put the story out there, and the money just kind of flows in. You get support from family and friends, maybe people that didn't see it before or see the other one, and it's super fast and it's super easy to put together. So little things like that. So that's it for today. Again, just want to give everyone. I know everyone's kind of reaching that time. I know some people are still in that season mode, because I know there's still a lot of schools that are hoping to hold out and have some kind of football season. I know myself, again, I was really holding out for it, but I think we made the best decision for our school and our athletes moving forward. Even though, do I like it? Of course not. Do our parents like it? Of course not. But it's one of those things where we're just looking at it, and it just seemed like the best decision at the time. So now I'm moving into off-season mode, working on hiring coaches, working on obviously fundraising. So we're piecing that together. We're going to start our popcorn fundraiser in March. So and they're supposedly doing a 50-50 kind of split where you can do the brochure, where you actually go out and sell door to door, and they're going to do an online piece. So I'm really interested to see how that works. Because if the online ends up doing better than the brochure, then we might just go 100% online on that and go from there. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that works. But again, that's one of those fundraisers where you sell a product and you get 50%. Same thing as kind of like those discount cards and the Nike socks and all that stuff, where if you sell a $5 thing, you're going to get $2.50, minimum back. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. So thank you all so much again for listening. Comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, all that hoopla. And again, if you learned something, fantastic. If you want some more info on some of these, again, I've done the car washes, I've done the customizable socks, I've done the restaurant nights, I've done the discount cards, I've been a part of the poker tournament, I've been a part of the golf tournaments. So if you got more questions or you'd like me to go over one specifically, obviously hit me down below. Let me know. Hit me up with some questions, and maybe I'll do another little separate video on it. So as always, be great, push limits, hold the line. Have a great day.